Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here today not only proud to be a Sierra Leonean, but proud to be an African at the African Leadership Academy. I know that every African child has a story. We are not yet old enough to write our biographies, but we can always look back at the past events that happened and see how they shaped us to be the wonderful people that we are now. My story starts from the tiny dot on the world map, Sierra Leone. My beloved motherland, Sierra Leone, the beautiful West African natural paradise, which was sadly torn apart by a bloody and senseless civil war. A war which started the year I was born, 1991. Well, whether the fact that I was born that year is fortunate or unfortunate, I believe it was a good thing I came all the same. The war left many homes destroyed. Many families were killed. Lots of amputees were either left to die or fight for life on their own. Some of my father's relatives had been killed also. My family had a better story to tell. As the war became bloody and the capital city more insecure, my mother, my elder sister, and I fled to the Gambia as refugees. Being a refugee is one of the most terrifying experiences a little girl of 6 can go through. Back then in the Gambia, it wasn't easy. 3 strange women in a foreign land where, sadly and unfortunately, refugees were regarded as foreigners or aliens, and life was made very tough for them. My mother had to take care of her 2 daughters and also look for a job in which later on she would be highly underpaid just because she was an alien. Back then, I can still remember I learned a lot of lessons, especially from my mother. Patience, perseverance, and hard work. Without those 3 values, I do not believe a woman can ever survive being a woman all through womanhood. Back in the Gambia, I really missed my beloved motherland, Sierra Leone. You know, Sierra Leone, with all its flaws, is a country you just can't help loving. I never knew why the rebels fought. I never really knew the cause of the war. And I never liked asking my parents because I knew it would bring back painful memories. Back then, in 2002, we returned back to Sierra Leone. And I really found it hard to adjust. The country was shattered. Whatever had caused the war had really left Mama Salone weeping. And I found it hard to adapt again because during my childhood years, I hadn't grown up in my country. I couldn't learn the traditions because in order to fit into another society, I had to behave like a Gambian in order to fit into the crowd because at times I was marginalized because I didn't speak the same language or have the same accent as my peers back then. So in 2002, we returned to Sierra Leone, and thankfully, I covered up for my patriotic inadequacies by having the best results in the basic entrance certificate examination in 2005, and also being the top female performer at the West African Senior Secondary School certificate examination in 2008. I'm not going to pledge my love for Africa in colorful words. I can only sum it up in just one phrase. I do love Africa. And I do not want to see again suffering and bloodshed that countries like Angola, Liberia, Mozambique, and Sierra Leone went through. I would like to be a human rights lawyer when I grow up and work mainly with children, especially refugees. I believe that you do not have to go through something in order to be passionate about it, but life is a good teacher. And when life teaches you something, you have to learn. And learning goes with application. There was a war in my country, and I always pray that it will never happen again. Here in LA, I can always look at the future with hope. As a young African leader, what I want to see is peace. And with peace, national consciousness. And with national consciousness, patriotism, real patriotism. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of Ngozi Cole, a 17-year-old girl from the land of the Lion Mountains. This is my story.